Ladies and gentlemen, champions in the making, future legends of your own destiny. Today is not just another day. Today is the day. The day you stop making excuses and start making history. The day you stop being a spectator in your own life and become the author of your own success story. Look around you. Look at where you are right now. Is this where you dreamed you'd be? Is this the life you envisioned when you were young and full of hope? If the answer is no, then congratulations, because today is the day everything changes. My name might not matter, but my message will echo in your soul long after these words end. I've seen Sarah from small-town Nebraska become a Fortune 500 CEO. I've watched Marcus from the roughest streets of Detroit build an empire that employs thousands. I've witnessed Jennifer transform from a high school dropout to a doctorate holder who now teaches at Harvard. What made them different? What separated them from the millions who settle for mediocrity? Decision. One single, powerful, life-altering decision to refuse to accept anything less than extraordinary. But first, let me tell you something that nobody else will tell you, something that will shake you to your core. You are not special. That's right. You heard me correctly. You were not special by birth. You weren't chosen by the universe. Success wasn't guaranteed to you when you took your first breath. But, and this is the most important but you'll ever hear, you have something that every single successful person in history has had. You have the same 24 hours that Thomas Edison had. You have the same capacity for growth that Oprah Winfrey had. You have the same potential for reinvention that Steve Jobs had. The difference isn't in what you were given. The difference is in what you do with what you've been given. Right now, as I speak these words, someone, somewhere, is making excuses. I don't have connections, they say. I don't have money, they cry. I don't have education, they complain. And while they're making excuses, someone else, someone just like you, is making progress. David, from a one-bedroom apartment in Ohio, just launched his third successful business. Rachel, a single mother working 2 jobs, just graduated law school with honors. Michael, who was told he'd never amount to anything, just opened his 5th restaurant. What's their secret? They stopped focusing on what they didn't have and started maximizing what they did have. Inside you, right now, at this very moment, is a force more powerful than any obstacle you'll ever face. It's been there all along, waiting for you to recognize it, waiting for you to unleash it. This force has no respect for your background. It doesn't care about your past failures. It's completely indifferent to the people who said you'd never make it. This force is your will to succeed, your will to grow, your will to become everything you're capable of becoming. Listen to me carefully. Every single morning, you wake up with a choice. You can choose to be a victim of your circumstances, or you can choose to be the architect of your transformation. Champions don't wait for motivation. Champions create motivation through action. When Jessica felt like giving up on her dream of becoming a doctor, she didn't wait to feel motivated. She opened her textbooks anyway. When Robert's business was failing and he wanted to quit, he didn't wait for inspiration. He made those sales calls anyway. When Amanda was exhausted from working full-time while pursuing her master's degree, she didn't wait for energy. She studied anyway. Action creates momentum. Momentum creates results. Results create motivation. Let me share with you the daily habits that separate the extraordinary from the ordinary. Every morning, before your feet hit the floor, you make a declaration. Not a wish, not a hope, a declaration. Today, I will move closer to my goals than I was yesterday. Today, I will outwork my excuses. Today, I will become the person my future self needs me to be. Champions like Anthony understand that how you start your day determines how you live your life. While others are scrolling through social media, you're studying. While others are watching TV, you're learning skills that will change your life. Knowledge is the only investment that pays dividends forever. Read for 1 hour every day, just 1 hour. In 5 years, you'll have read over 1,800 hours of material. You'll have consumed more knowledge than 95% of the population. You'll have developed a perspective that most people will never possess. Show me your friends, and I'll show you your future. If you're the smartest person in your room, you're in the wrong room. Successful people like Catherine and Brandon understand that your network determines your net worth. They surround themselves with people who challenge them, inspire them, and push them to be better. Here's what most people don't understand about failure. Failure isn't the opposite of success. Failure is the raw material of success. Every failure contains within it the seeds of a comeback story that will inspire generations. When Thomas fails, he doesn't see a setback. He sees data. When Patricia encounters obstacles, she sees solutions waiting to be discovered. Your biggest enemy isn't your competition. Your biggest enemy isn't even your economy. Your biggest enemy isn't even your circumstances. Your biggest enemy is the voice in your head that says you can't. That voice has a name. It's called fear. Fear of failure, fear of success, fear of judgment, fear of the unknown. But here's what I want you to understand about fear. Fear is not a stop sign. Fear is a compass. It points you towards exactly what you need to do to grow. When Victoria felt afraid to start her own company, that fear was telling her exactly what her soul was calling her to do. When Carlos felt terrified about going back to school at 40, that terror was his internal GPS pointing him towards his true potential. The only thing worse than facing your fears is living with the regret of not facing them. Success isn't magic. Success isn't luck. Success is a formula. And I'm going to give you that formula right now. Success equals vision times planning times action divided by excuses. Vision. You must see your success before you achieve it. You must know exactly what you're working towards. Champions like Gregory and Maria don't just have goals, they have crystal clear visions of their destinies. Planning. A goal without a plan is just a wish. You need to reverse engineer your success.
If you want to be a millionaire in 10 years, what do you need to earn each year, each month, each day? Break it down until you know exactly what actions to take today. Action. This is where most people fail. They have the vision, they have the plan, but they don't have the discipline to execute consistently, day after day, even when they don't feel like it. Excuses. Notice that excuses are in the denominator. The more excuses you make, the smaller your result becomes. The fewer excuses you make, the larger your success grows. Let me tell you about discipline. Real discipline. Not the kind you read about in self-help books, but the kind that transforms ordinary people into legends. Discipline is not punishment. Discipline is freedom. When you have the discipline to do what you need to do, when you need to do it, whether you feel like it or not, you free yourself from the prison of circumstance. Look at athletes like Jennifer and Michael who train every day, regardless of weather, regardless of how they feel, regardless of what's happening in their personal lives. They understand that discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. Discipline is doing what you hate to do, but doing it like you love it. Champions think differently, they see differently, they respond differently. When most people see a problem, champions see an opportunity. When most people see competition, champions see motivation to improve. When most people see rejection, champions see redirection towards something better. Robert didn't become successful despite his challenges. He became successful because of his challenges. Every obstacle forced him to become stronger, smarter, more resourceful. Lisa didn't achieve her dreams in spite of her humble beginnings. Her humble beginnings gave her the hunger, the appreciation, and the work ethic that propelled her to heights that those born with advantages never reached. Your current situation is not your final destination unless you choose to make it so. Here's a truth that will either terrify you or liberate you. Time is moving whether you're moving with it or not. 1 year from today, you will be 1 year older. That's guaranteed. The question is, will you also be 1 year closer to your dreams, or will you be in exactly the same place you are today, just older? 5 years from now, you'll be exactly where your daily actions have taken you. No more, no less. Champions like Daniel and Rebecca understand that time is the ultimate equalizer. Rich or poor, educated or not, connected or isolated, we all get the same 1,440 minutes every day. How are you investing yours? Success is not a solo journey. Show me someone who achieved greatness alone, and I'll show you someone who's lying. But here's what most people don't understand about relationships. You don't need everyone to believe in you. You just need the right people to believe in you. Sometimes the people closest to you will be the ones who doubt you the most. They're not evil, they're scared. Scared that if you change, if you grow, if you succeed, they'll be left behind. Don't let their fears become your ceiling. Find your tribe. Find people like Christopher and Amanda who will celebrate your wins and push you through your losses. Find mentors who have already walked the path you're trying to walk. Surround yourself with people who make you better, not people who make you comfortable. Let me tell you something about setbacks that will change how you see every challenge for the rest of your life. Setbacks are setups for comebacks. Every champion has a setback story. Every legend has a chapter where everything went wrong. The difference between those who make it and those who don't isn't the absence of setbacks, it's how they respond to setbacks. When Stephen lost his first business, he didn't see it as an ending, he saw it as education. When Nicole was rejected for her dream job 17 times, she didn't see it as failure, she saw it as preparation for something better. Your setbacks are not punishments, they're preparation. Mediocrity is a disease and excellence is the cure. But excellence isn't about being perfect, excellence is about being better today than you were yesterday, and better tomorrow than you are today. Winners like Paul and Jennifer don't compare themselves to others, they compare themselves to who they were yesterday. Excellence is a habit. It's choosing to give your best effort even when no one is watching. It's doing what's right even when it's difficult. It's maintaining your standards even when you're tired, frustrated, or discouraged. Excellence is not an act, but a habit. We are what we repeatedly do. Let me ask you something. What does your perfect life look like? Not what you think you deserve, not what seems realistic. What does your perfect life look like? Can you see it? Can you feel it? Can you taste it? Champions like Kevin and Michelle don't just dream about their perfect life, they live it in their minds every single day until it becomes so real that they have no choice but to make it reality. Your vision must be so compelling that it pulls you forward even when everything else is pushing you back. Write down your vision, make it specific, make it vivid, make it undeniable. Courage isn't the absence of fear, courage is feeling the fear and acting anyway. Every single person who has ever achieved anything significant has felt afraid. The difference is they didn't let fear make their decisions for them. When Brian decided to leave his comfortable job to start his own company, he was terrified. When Laura decided to move across the country to pursue her dreams, she was scared. When James decided to invest his life savings in his vision, his hands were shaking. But they did it anyway. Courage is not feeling brave, courage is taking action despite the fear. Most people quit 3 feet from gold. They work hard, they push forward, they make progress, and then right before the breakthrough, they quit. Why? Because they expect success to be linear. They expect steady progress, constant growth, predictable results. But that's not how success works. Success looks like this: effort, 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 breakthrough.
The breakthrough doesn't come despite the struggle. The breakthrough comes because of the struggle.
When William's business was struggling for 3 years, everyone told him to quit. In year 4, he became a millionaire. When Crystal failed her bar exam twice, everyone said she should choose a different career. The 3rd time, she passed and is now a partner at a major law firm. The difference between success and failure is often just one more try. Here's something that might surprise you. Gratitude is a success strategy. I'm not talking about feel-good, positive thinking. I'm talking about a fundamental shift in how you see your life that changes everything. When you focus on what you have, you attract more of what you want. Champions like Robert and Diana start every day by acknowledging what's already working in their lives. Not because they're satisfied with where they are, but because gratitude gives them the energy and perspective they need to reach the next level. Gratitude turns what you have into more than enough. Here's the ultimate success secret that most motivational speakers won't tell you. The fastest way to get what you want is to help others get what they want. Success isn't about taking. Success is about giving. When Frank built his company, he didn't focus on what he could get from his customers. He focused on what he could give to his customers. When Patricia developed her skills, she didn't just think about her own advancement. She thought about how she could serve at a higher level. The most successful people on earth are the ones who serve the most people at the highest level. What problems can you solve? What needs can you meet? What value can you create? Find your way to serve, and success will find its way to you. Success builds on success. Small wins create big wins. Daily progress creates dramatic transformation. But here's the key. You have to start the momentum machine with action, even when you don't see the full picture. When Kevin started writing for just 10 minutes a day, he couldn't see how that would lead to a best-selling novel. When Maria started investing just $50 a month, she couldn't see how that would lead to financial freedom. When Joseph started exercising for just 15 minutes a day, he couldn't see how that would transform his entire life. But they started anyway. You don't have to see the whole staircase. You just have to take the first step. Whether you know it or not, you are a leader. You're leading by example every single day. The question is, what example are you setting? Are you showing the world what's possible, or are you demonstrating what excuses look like? Leaders like Sandra and Benjamin understand that leadership isn't about having a title or managing people. Leadership is about managing yourself so well that others are inspired to manage themselves better. When you commit to excellence in your own life, you give others permission to commit to excellence in theirs. Leadership is not about being in charge. Leadership is about taking charge of yourself. Transformation is not comfortable. Growth is not easy. Becoming who you're meant to be requires you to let go of who you've been. This is why most people never change. They want the results of transformation without the discomfort of transformation. But champions like Michelle and Christopher understand that discomfort is not the enemy of progress. Discomfort is progress. When you're uncomfortable, you're growing. When you're challenged, you're strengthening. When you're confused, you're learning. Embrace the discomfort. It's the price of admission to your next level. In a world of infinite distractions, focus is your superpower. While others are scattered, you are focused. While others are distracted, you are disciplined. While others are multitasking their way to mediocrity, you are single-tasking your way to mastery. Champions like Andrew and Elizabeth know that attention is the most valuable currency in the modern world. Where you place your attention determines where you place your life. Focus on your goals with laser-like intensity. Focus on your growth with unwavering commitment. Focus on your purpose with relentless dedication. What you focus on expands. Choose your focus wisely.
There is enough success for everyone. Other people's wins don't diminish your chances of winning. Other people's achievements don't reduce your potential for achievement. Scarcity thinking keeps you small. Abundance thinking makes you unstoppable. When Patricia celebrates her colleague's promotion, instead of feeling jealous, she opens herself to her own advancement. When Marcus cheers for his competitor's success, instead of feeling threatened, he learns strategies that improve his own performance. Abundance flows to those who think in abundance. You cannot build a successful life on a failing body. Your physical health is the foundation of everything else you want to achieve. Without energy, you can't pursue your dreams. Without strength, you can't overcome obstacles. Without vitality, you can't sustain success. Champions like David and Rachel treat their bodies like the high-performance machines they are. They fuel themselves with nutritious food. They strengthen themselves with regular exercise. They recharge themselves with adequate sleep. Your body is not separate from your success. Your body is your success vehicle. Take care of your body. It's the only place you have to live. Money isn't everything, but financial stress can ruin everything. Financial freedom isn't about being rich. Financial freedom is about having enough money that money isn't a source of stress in your life. Champions like William and Jennifer understand that money is a tool, not a goal. They use money to create freedom, not to impress others. Wealth is not about having a lot of money. Wealth is about having a lot of options. Right now, someone is telling themselves they'll start tomorrow. Tomorrow they'll begin their fitness journey. Tomorrow they'll start their business. Tomorrow they'll pursue their education. Tomorrow they'll change their life. But champions like Tyler and Michelle know that tomorrow is the most dangerous word in the language of success. Tomorrow becomes next week becomes next month becomes next year becomes never. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is right now. Every morning when you wake up, you have two choices. You can choose to see opportunities, or you can choose to see obstacles. You can choose to focus on possibilities, or you can choose to focus on problems. You can choose to be part of the solution, or you can choose to be part of the complaint. Champions like Brandon and Lisa always choose to see opportunities. Even in the darkest moments, even when everything seems to be going wrong, they find the opportunity hidden within the challenge. Opportunity is everywhere, but it only reveals itself to those who are looking for it. Success leaves clues. Every industry, every field, every area of achievement has patterns of success that you can learn and apply. When Jonathan studied the habits of successful entrepreneurs, he discovered principles that transformed his own business. When Sandra analyzed the routines of top performers in her field, she found strategies that elevated her own performance. When Craig examined the mindsets of champions, he developed a mental framework that made him unstoppable. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. You just have to be willing to learn from those who have already mastered what you're trying to master. Study success, and success will study you. Let me tell you about the power of decision. Not just any decision, but the kind of decision that changes everything. The decision to commit, the decision to persist, the decision to never give up on yourself no matter what happens. When Emily made the decision to become financially free, she didn't just set a goal. She made a commitment that was stronger than any obstacle she would face. When Ryan made the decision to transform his health, he didn't just start a diet. He made a lifestyle change that would last the rest of his life. When Angela made the decision to build her dream business, she didn't just create a plan. She made a promise to herself that she would keep no matter what. Decision is the ultimate power.
Decision cuts through confusion. Decision eliminates doubt. Decision creates destiny. Time is your most precious resource, and how you use it determines everything about your life. Champions like Jacob and Christina understand that time management is life management. They know that every minute invested in growth pays dividends forever. They know that every hour spent on high-value activities compounds into extraordinary results. They know that every day lived with intention creates a lifetime of fulfillment. You have time for whatever you make time for. If success is important to you, you'll find the time. If growth matters to you, you'll create the time. If your dreams are a priority, you'll invest the time. Stop saying you don't have time. Start saying it's not a priority. Be honest with yourself about what really matters to you. Your environment shapes your destiny. If you want to change your life, change your environment. If you want to change your results, change your inputs. If you want to change your future, change your influences. Champions like Nathan and Rebecca are very careful about what they allow into their environment. They choose their physical surroundings, they choose their relationships, they choose their media consumption, they choose their conversations, because they understand that environment is stronger than willpower. Change your environment, and your environment will change you. Here's what separates good from great: consistency. Anyone can work hard for a day. Anyone can stay focused for a week. Anyone can maintain discipline for a month. But champions like Derek and Stephanie show up every single day, even when they don't feel like it, even when progress seems slow, even when others are telling them to quit. Consistency is the mother of mastery. Consistency is the father of achievement. Consistency is the key that unlocks every door you want to walk through. Small daily improvements lead to stunning long-term results. You are more powerful than you know. You are more capable than you believe. You are more resilient than you imagine. Inside you right now is the capacity to overcome any obstacle, achieve any goal, become any person you decide to become. But this power only works when you work. This strength only shows up when you show up. This potential only becomes reality when you take action. Champions like Matthew and Kelly discovered their power not by reading about it, not by talking about it, but by using it every single day, in every single situation, through every single challenge. Your power is proven through your actions, not your intentions. Let me tell you about the compound effect. Small actions, repeated consistently over time, create massive results. When Gary read just 10 pages a day, he read 50 books in a year. When Linda saved just $5 a day, she had nearly $2,000 at the end of the year. When Carlos exercised for just 20 minutes a day, he completely transformed his health in 12 months. Small hinges swing big doors. The smallest actions, when done consistently, create the biggest transformations. You don't need to make massive changes. You just need to make consistent changes. Start where you are, use what you have, do what you can. Success is not about perfection. Success is about progression. Every expert was once a beginner. Every champion was once a contender. Every legend was once just someone with a dream and the courage to pursue it. When Alexander started his business, he had no experience, no money, and no connections. But he had desire, he had determination, he had the willingness to learn, to grow, to fail, to get back up, and to keep moving forward. When Michelle began her journey to become a doctor, she failed her first entrance exam. But she didn't let one failure define her entire future. She studied harder, prepared better, and tried again, and again, and again until she succeeded. Your past does not equal your future unless you live there. Habits are the compound interest of self-improvement. Every habit you develop is an investment in your future self. Champions like Richard and Samantha understand that success is not about one giant leap. Success is about thousands of small steps taken consistently in the right direction. What habits are you building? Are they moving you toward your goals or away from them? Are they making you stronger or weaker? Are they creating the life you want or the life you're trying to escape? Change your habits and you change your life. Change your habits and you change your destiny. The difference between dreaming and achieving is execution. Dreams without action are just wishes. Goals without effort are just fantasies. Visions without work are just hallucinations. But when you combine dreams with action, magic happens. When you align goals with effort, miracles occur. When you match visions with work, the impossible becomes inevitable. Champions like Timothy and Nicole are not just dreamers, they are executors. They don't just think about what they want, they do what it takes to get what they want. Execution is the ultimate differentiator. Execution is where dreams become reality. Your thoughts become your words become your actions become your habits become your character becomes your destiny. This is why champions like Austin and Melissa are so careful about what they think about, what they say, and what they do. They understand that everything is connected. They understand that success starts in the mind and manifests in the world through consistent action. Guard your thoughts. They become your life. The greatest risk is not taking any risk. In a world that's changing rapidly, the only strategy that's guaranteed to fail is not taking any risks. Playing it safe is the most dangerous thing you can do. Champions like Philip and Janet understand that calculated risks are the price of extraordinary results. They don't take foolish risks, but they don't avoid necessary risks either. They understand that on the other side of fear is everything they want. Take risks or take orders. The choice is yours. Your potential is unlimited, but your time is not. Every day you wait is a day you'll never get back. Every opportunity you don't take is an opportunity that goes to someone who will. Every chance you don't seize is a chance that may never come again. Champions like George and Helen treat time like the precious resource it is. They don't waste it on activities that don't move them forward. They don't spend it on people who don't inspire them to be better. They invest it in pursuits that align with their purpose. Time is the only thing you can't make more of. Use it wisely. Your comfort zone is your danger zone. Everything you want is on the other side of fear, on the other side of discomfort, on the other side of what feels safe and familiar. Growth requires you to do things you've never done, to go places you've never been, to become someone you've never been. When Edward left his secure job to start his own company, he was terrified.
But he understood that security is largely a superstition. Life is either a daring adventure or nothing at all. When Grace decided to speak at conferences despite her fear of public speaking, she was shaking. But she understood that courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is action in the presence of fear. Comfort is the enemy of greatness. Step out of your comfort zone and into your destiny. Success is a science, not an accident. There are principles, laws, and strategies that govern achievement. These principles work whether you understand them or not, whether you believe them or not, whether you like them or not. Champions like Charles and Victoria have studied these principles. They've applied these principles. They've mastered these principles. And now these principles work automatically in their lives, creating success with mathematical certainty. Study the science of success, and success becomes scientific. Every setback contains a setup for a comeback. Every failure contains the seeds of future success. Every obstacle contains an opportunity for growth. But you have to look for it. You have to extract it. You have to transform it. When Leonard's first business failed, he was devastated. But inside that failure was the experience, knowledge, and wisdom he needed to make his second business a massive success. When Sharon was passed over for promotion, she was disappointed. But that disappointment motivated her to develop new skills that made her irreplaceable in her next opportunity. Setbacks are not permanent unless you make them permanent.
Your reputation is your most valuable asset. It takes years to build and seconds to destroy. Champions like Douglas and Christina understand that reputation is earned through consistency. Not just consistency in results, but consistency in character. They do the right thing even when no one is watching. They keep their word even when it's difficult. They maintain their integrity even when it costs them. Because they understand that character is who you are when no one is looking, and reputation is who people think you are based on what they see. Character is your foundation. Reputation is your currency. Protect both at all costs. The quality of your questions determines the quality of your life. Instead of asking, "Why me?" ask, "How can I grow from this?" Instead of asking, "What if I fail?" ask, "What if I succeed?" Instead of asking, "What's wrong with me?" ask, "What's possible for me?" Champions like Harold and Donna ask empowering questions that lead to empowering answers. They focus their minds on solutions, not problems. They direct their energy toward possibilities, not limitations. Change your questions, and you change your life. Every challenge you face is preparing you for the level of success you're destined to achieve. The bigger your dreams, the bigger your challenges will be. The greater your vision, the greater your obstacles will be. The more extraordinary your goals, the more extraordinary your growth will need to be. When Ronald faced bankruptcy, he didn't see it as the end. He saw it as preparation for the financial literacy that would make him wealthy. When Michelle battled addiction, she didn't see it as weakness. She saw it as the journey that would give her the strength to help millions of others. Your challenges are not punishments, they're preparations. Your current struggles are developing the strength you need for your next level. Persistence is the ultimate key. Talent is common. Intelligence is widespread. Opportunity is available to everyone. But persistence is rare. Persistence is precious. Persistence is the difference between those who achieve their dreams and those who abandon them. When Walter was rejected 47 times before his book was published, persistence kept him going. When Linda's business lost money for the first 3 years, persistence kept her believing. When Frank was told he wasn't good enough 12 different times, persistence proved them wrong. Persistence is the mother of success. Never, never, never give up. Your beliefs create your reality. If you believe you can, you will find a way. If you believe you can't, you will find an excuse. Champions like Raymond and Patricia have developed unshakable beliefs in their ability to succeed. Not because success is guaranteed, but because they've committed to persist until they succeed. They believe in their dreams when no one else does. They believe in their vision when everyone else doubts. They believe in their potential when all evidence suggests otherwise. Belief is the ignition switch of success. Without it, nothing else matters. With it, nothing else matters. Excellence is not a skill. Excellence is an attitude. It's the attitude that says, "I will give my best effort regardless of the circumstances." It's the attitude that says, "I will maintain my standards regardless of what others are doing." It's the attitude that says, "I will pursue mastery regardless of how long it takes." When Lawrence approaches any task, he brings excellence, not because the task is important, but because excellence is who he is. When Dorothy faces any challenge, she brings excellence, not because she feels like it, but because excellence is her standard. Excellence is not what you do. Excellence is who you are. The person you become in pursuit of your goals is more valuable than the goals themselves. The character you develop, the skills you acquire, the relationships you build, the wisdom you gain, these are the real treasures of your journey. When Eugene built his company, he gained wealth. But more importantly, he gained leadership skills that transformed every area of his life. When Betty pursued her PhD, she gained credentials.
But more importantly, she gained a love of learning that enriched her entire existence. The journey changes you. The pursuit transforms you. The process creates the person capable of achieving the dream. Focus on becoming the person your goals require you to become. Every day is a chance to start over. Yesterday's failures don't determine today's possibilities. Last year's mistakes don't define this year's opportunities. Your past does not have to be your prologue. Champions like Ernest and Joyce understand that every sunrise brings a fresh start. Every morning is a new beginning. Every moment is a chance to choose differently, act differently, be different. You are not stuck with who you've been. You can become who you decide to be, starting right now, starting today, starting with your very next decision. Today is the first day of the rest of your life. Make it count. Success is not just about achieving your goals. Success is about becoming the kind of person who achieves goals. It's about developing the mindset, the habits, the character, and the skills that make success inevitable. When Alan became successful, it wasn't because he got lucky. It was because he became the kind of person who creates luck. When Grace achieved her dreams, it wasn't because opportunities found her. It was because she became the kind of person who creates opportunities. Build the character that success requires, and success becomes a natural result. The power of visualization is real, but it only works when combined with action. Champions like Martin and Carol don't just visualize their success, they visualize themselves doing the work necessary to achieve success. They see themselves making the difficult decisions. They see themselves persisting through challenges. They see themselves growing through setbacks. Visualization without action is just fantasy. Action without visualization is just activity. But visualization combined with action is unstoppable. See it, believe it, achieve it. Your story is being written right now. Every decision you make, every action you take, every response you choose is adding another chapter to your life story. What kind of story are you writing? Is it a story of excuses or execution? Is it a story of dreams or decisions? Is it a story of potential or performance? Champions like Edward and Ruth are conscious authors of their own stories. They don't just let life happen to them, they make life happen for them. They write stories of triumph, transformation, and transcendence.
Your story is not over. The best chapters are yet to be written. Mental toughness is your competitive advantage. While others are giving up, you're getting up. While others are breaking down, you're breaking through. While others are making excuses, you're making progress. Mental toughness isn't about being hard. It's about being resilient. It's about bouncing back faster, stronger, and wiser than before. When Henry faced his biggest crisis, mental toughness carried him through. When Susan encountered her greatest challenge, mental toughness kept her going. When Peter hit his lowest point, mental toughness lifted him up. Mental toughness is not inherited, it's developed. Develop yours daily. The compound effect of daily disciplines will astound you. When Arthur commits to reading just 30 minutes a day, he reads 25 books a year. When Laura commits to exercising just 30 minutes a day, she transforms her entire body in a year. When Scott commits to working on his business for just 1 extra hour each day, he builds an empire that changes his family's legacy forever. Small daily disciplines create massive life transformations. The key is not the size of the action. The key is the consistency of the action. Consistency is the master key that unlocks all doors. Your mindset is your most powerful tool. It's more important than your education, your connections, your background, or your resources. Champions like Benjamin and Angela have developed mindsets that make them unstoppable. They see challenges as opportunities to grow stronger.
They see failures as feedback to improve faster. They see setbacks as set-ups for comebacks. They see obstacles as stepping stones to their destiny. Your mindset determines your results. Change your mindset and you change your life. Mindset is everything. Develop a champion's mindset and become a champion. Every moment of your life, you are either growing or dying. There is no neutral. There is no standing still. You are either moving toward your dreams or away from them. You are either becoming more of who you're meant to be or settling for who you've always been. Champions like Russell and Catherine have chosen growth every single day, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it's difficult, even when they don't see immediate results, because they understand that growth is the only guarantee of a better tomorrow. Grow or die. The choice is yours. Make it consciously. The pain of discipline weighs ounces. The pain of regret weighs tons. Right now, you can choose the temporary discomfort of discipline or the permanent pain of regret. You can choose the short-term sacrifice that creates long-term success or the short-term pleasure that creates long-term pain. Champions like Howard and Nancy choose discipline because they understand that everything has a price. You can pay the price of success or you can pay the price of failure, but you're going to pay a price either way. The price of success is always paid in advance. Your energy is your currency. How you invest your energy determines your return on life. Champions like Kenneth and Gloria are very strategic about where they invest their energy. They invest it in activities that multiply their results. They invest it in relationships that elevate their standards. They invest it in learning that expands their possibilities. They don't waste energy on gossip, complaints, or activities that don't serve their vision. Invest your energy wisely. It's the only currency that truly matters. Success is predictable when you understand the principles. It's not random. It's not luck. It's not magic. It's the predictable result of applying proven principles consistently over time. When Louis follows the principles of financial success, he becomes financially successful. When Barbara follows the principles of health and fitness, she becomes healthy and fit. When Donald follows the principles of relationship building, he builds extraordinary relationships. Principles don't care about your age, your background, or your current situation. Principles work for anyone willing to work them. Learn the principles, apply the principles, trust the principles. Your environment either supports your success or sabotages it. Champions like Ralph and Sharon are very intentional about creating environments that support their goals. They organize their physical space to promote productivity. They structure their time to maximize efficiency. They design their routines to build momentum. They curate their relationships to encourage growth. If your environment is not supporting your success, change it. If your environment is holding you back, upgrade it. Design your environment to design your success. The speed of your success is determined by the speed of your decision-making. While others are overthinking, you are acting. While others are analyzing, you are executing. While others are debating, you are demonstrating. Champions like Albert and Janet make decisions quickly and change them slowly. They understand that indecision is the enemy of progress. They understand that perfect information is the enemy of good decisions. They understand that speed of implementation beats perfection of preparation. Decide fast, act faster, adjust as needed. Your beliefs about what's possible determine what becomes possible. If you believe small, you'll achieve small. If you think big, you'll achieve big. If you dream massive, you'll create massive results. Champions like Bruce and Linda have developed beliefs that support extraordinary achievement. They believe they deserve success. They believe they can overcome any obstacle. They believe their dreams are not just possible, but inevitable. What do you believe about yourself? What do you believe about your potential? What do you believe about your future? Believe in possibilities, and possibilities believe in you. Every ending is a new beginning. Every closing door opens a new one. Every completed chapter starts a fresh page. Champions like Terry and Brenda understand that life is a series of transitions, and each transition is an opportunity for transformation. When one phase of your life ends, it creates space for something better to begin. When one goal is achieved, it creates capacity for a bigger goal. When one level is mastered, it opens access to the next level. Embrace endings. They're just beginnings in disguise. The secret to getting ahead is getting started. The secret to getting started is breaking complex, overwhelming tasks into small, manageable actions, and then start on the first one. Champions like Vernon and Joyce don't wait for perfect conditions. They start with current conditions and improve them as they go. They don't wait for complete clarity. They start with partial understanding and learn as they progress. They don't wait for total confidence. They start with enough courage and build confidence through action. Start where you are. Start with what you have. Start with who you are, but start. Your reputation is built through consistent actions over time. Every interaction is a deposit or withdrawal from your reputation account. Champions like Clinton and Diane are very careful about these deposits. They underpromise and overdeliver. They show up when others don't. They keep their word when it's inconvenient. They maintain their standards when others are lowering theirs, because they understand that reputation is the ultimate currency of success. Guard your reputation like your life depends on it, because your success depends on it. The fastest way to change your life is to change your daily routine. Your life is the sum of your daily habits. If you want different results, you need different actions. If you want different actions, you need different habits. If you want different habits, you need different routines. Champions like Harvey and Marie have developed routines that automatically move them toward their goals. Their morning routine sets them up for success. Their evening routine prepares them for tomorrow. Their weekly routine keeps them on track. Their monthly routine keeps them aligned with their vision. Change your routine and you change your results. Excellence is not negotiable. It's not something you do when you feel like it. It's not something you apply when it's convenient. Excellence is your standard, your expectation, your non-negotiable commitment to giving your best regardless of circumstances. When Leon approaches any task, he brings excellence, not because the task deserves it, but because excellence is who he is. When Phyllis faces any challenge, she brings excellence, not because she feels like it, but because excellence is her identity. Excellence is not an act. Excellence is a habit. Success is a team sport. No one achieves greatness alone. Behind every champion is a team of people who believed, supported, encouraged, and pushed them to be their best.
Champions like Stanley and Ruby understand the power of building the right team. They surround themselves with people who complement their weaknesses. They partner with people who share their vision. They align with people who elevate their standards. Build your success team carefully. Choose people who make you better, not people who make you comfortable. Teamwork makes the dream work. Your past is your platform, not your prison. Every experience you've had, good or bad, has prepared you for where you are right now. Champions like Norman and Carolyn don't run from their past. They leverage it. They use their experiences as fuel for their future. They transform their pain into purpose. They convert their setbacks into comebacks. They turn their mess into their message. Your past has given you strength you didn't know you had. Your past has taught you lessons you couldn't learn any other way. Your past has prepared you for opportunities you can't even see yet. Use your past as a launching pad, not a landing strip. The compound effect of positive associations will transform your trajectory. Who you spend time with is who you become. What you expose yourself to shapes who you are. Champions like Glenn and Joyce are very selective about their associations. They spend time with people who inspire them to be better. They consume content that elevates their thinking. They participate in activities that align with their values. They engage in conversations that expand their perspective. Choose your associations carefully. They're choosing your future. Your energy management is more important than your time management. You can have all the time in the world, but if you don't have energy, you can't use that time effectively. Champions like Arnold and Helen understand that energy is their most valuable resource. They protect it, they nurture it, they invest it wisely. They eliminate energy drains. They maximize energy gains. They organize their lives to sustain high energy throughout their journey. Manage your energy, and your energy will manage your success. Every decision you make is either moving you closer to your goals or further away from them. There are no neutral decisions. There are no insignificant choices. Every decision matters because every decision shapes your destiny. When Roger chooses to wake up early instead of sleeping in, he's choosing success. When Martha chooses to invest instead of spend, she's choosing freedom. When Charles chooses to study instead of watch TV, he's choosing growth. Make decisions that your future self will thank you for. Every decision is a destiny decision. Choose wisely. Your standards determine your success. If you have low standards, you'll achieve low results. If you have high standards, you'll achieve high results. If you have extraordinary standards, you'll achieve extraordinary results. Champions like Wayne and Rita have developed standards that demand excellence from themselves and everyone around them. They don't accept mediocrity. They don't tolerate excuses. They don't settle for good enough because they understand that you get what you tolerate. Raise your standards and your life rises to meet them. The power of momentum cannot be overstated. Once you get momentum working for you, everything becomes easier. Tasks that seemed impossible become manageable. Goals that seemed unreachable become achievable. Dreams that seemed impossible become inevitable. But momentum requires consistent action. You can't create momentum by thinking about it. You can't build momentum by planning it. You can only generate momentum by doing it. When Bobby takes action every day, momentum builds. When Sandra maintains consistency, momentum grows. When Gerald persists through resistance, momentum explodes. Create momentum through consistent action. Success is an inside job. It starts in your heart, grows in your mind, and manifests in your world through your actions. You can't achieve on the outside what you haven't developed on the inside. Champions like Carl and Denise understand that external success is the reflection of internal development. They work on themselves harder than they work on anything else. They develop their character, strengthen their mindset, expand their skills, and align their actions with their values. Work on yourself, and everything else works out. Your purpose is your power. When you're connected to a purpose bigger than yourself, you become unstoppable. When you're driven by a mission that matters, obstacles become opportunities to grow stronger. Champions like Lewis and Evelyn have discovered their purpose and aligned their lives with it. They don't just work for money, they work for meaning. They don't just pursue success, they pursue significance. They don't just build careers, they build legacies. Find your purpose, and purpose will find a way. The quality of your preparation determines the quality of your performance. Champions like Roy and Mildred prepare for success long before success arrives. They develop their skills before they need them. They build their character before it's tested. They strengthen their resolve before it's challenged. They expand their capacity before it's required.
Preparation is not just about being ready for opportunities. Preparation is about creating opportunities. When you're prepared, you see possibilities that others miss. When you're prepared, you can move faster than others. When you're prepared, you can achieve what others think is impossible. Preparation prevents poor performance. Your attitude is your altitude. How high you go in life is determined by how positive you stay in life. Champions like Edgar and Violet maintain positive attitudes not because everything is perfect, but because they understand that attitude is a choice. They choose to see the good in every situation. They choose to find the lesson in every experience. They choose to focus on solutions instead of problems. They choose to believe in possibilities instead of limitations. Your attitude is the only thing you have complete control over. Use that control wisely. Attitude determines altitude. Fly high. The price of success is always paid in advance. You pay with discipline when you don't feel like it. You pay with persistence when others are quitting. You pay with courage when you're afraid. You pay with action when you're uncertain. But champions like Ralph and Gladys understand that this payment is not a cost, it's an investment. An investment in your future, an investment in your dreams, an investment in your potential, an investment in your destiny. And like any good investment, it pays dividends for the rest of your life. Pay the price of success today and enjoy the rewards tomorrow. Your capacity determines your capability. If you want to achieve more, you must become more. If you want to do more, you must develop more. If you want to have more, you must give more. Champions like Floyd and Maxine are constantly expanding their capacity. They read more to think better. They exercise more to perform better. They learn more to serve better. They grow more to achieve more. Don't just work harder. Work on expanding your capacity to work smarter, faster, and more effectively. Expand your capacity, and your capability expands automatically. Every breakthrough begins with a breakdown. Every transformation starts with disruption. Every elevation requires elimination. Something has to break down before something better can be built up. Something has to be disrupted before something greater can be created. Something has to be eliminated before something extraordinary can emerge. When Tyler's old life broke down, it created space for his new life to emerge. When Beth's old identity was disrupted, it allowed her true identity to surface. When Andrew's old patterns were eliminated, it enabled new patterns to establish. Embrace the breakdown. It's the beginning of your breakthrough. The distance between dreams and reality is called action. The bridge between where you are and where you want to be is called effort. The gap between potential and performance is called persistence. You can dream all you want, but without action, dreams remain dreams. You can plan all you want, but without effort, plans remain plans. You can visualize all you want, but without working towards your success, visualization is just daydreaming. Champions like Carl and Ruby close the gap between dreams and reality through massive, consistent, purposeful action. They don't just think about what they want, they do what it takes to get what they want. Action is the bridge between dreams and destiny. Your comfort zone is a beautiful place, but nothing ever grows there. Growth requires discomfort. Excellence demands effort. Mastery mandates challenges. Champions like Jean and Norma have learned to love discomfort because they know it's the price of growth. They seek challenges because they know challenges create champions. They embrace uncertainty because they know uncertainty creates opportunity. Discomfort is temporary. Regret is permanent. Choose wisely. The law of attraction works, but only when combined with the law of action. You can think positive thoughts all day long, but without positive actions, positive thoughts are powerless. You can visualize your success all you want, but without working toward your success, visualization is just daydreaming. Champions like Ernest and Bernice understand that attraction without action is just wishful thinking. They combine positive thinking with positive doing. They match their mental energy with physical energy. They align their inner work with outer work.
Words have power. They have the power to build up or tear down. They have the power to inspire or discourage. They have the power to create or destroy. Champions like Lloyd and Francis choose their words carefully. They speak success into existence. They declare victory before they see it. They affirm their capabilities when others doubt them. They encourage others when everyone else is criticizing, because they understand that words have creative power. Speak life into your dreams. Speak power into your plans. Speak success into your future. Every master was once a disaster. Every expert was once a beginner. Every legend was once an unknown. The only difference between those who master their craft and those who remain amateurs is persistence through the learning process. When Gerald started his business, he made every mistake in the book, but he learned from every mistake and never made the same one twice. When Judy began her career, she was the least experienced person on her team, but she outworked everyone and outlasted everyone until she became the most valuable person on her team. Mastery is not about perfection. Mastery is about progression. Your results are the report card of your activities. If you don't like your results, change your activities. If you want better outcomes, create better inputs. If you desire different destinations, choose different directions. Champions like Sydney and Velma track their activities carefully because they know activities create results. They measure what matters. They monitor what moves them forward. They evaluate what elevates their performance. Change your activities and you change your results. The time for excuses is over. The time for action is now. The time for transformation is today. You've heard enough. You know enough. You have enough. The only thing left is to do enough. Champions like Gordon and Phyllis understand that knowledge without application is worthless. Information without implementation is powerless. Understanding without action is meaningless. Stop learning about success and start living success. Your breakthrough is closer than you think. Your victory is nearer than you know. Your transformation is happening faster than you realize. But you have to keep going. You have to keep believing. You have to keep pushing forward even when you can't see the finish line. Champions like Dale and Irene maintain faith when others lose hope. They persist when others quit. They continue when others stop, because they understand that breakthrough moments often come disguised as breakdown moments. Keep going. Your breakthrough is just around the corner. The size of your success is determined by the size of your service. The greater the value you create for others, the greater the value you create for yourself. The more problems you solve for others, the more problems you solve for yourself. Champions like Glenn and Ruth focus on contribution before compensation. They focus on value before victory. They focus on service before success. Because they understand that when you help enough people get what they want, you automatically get what you want. Serve first, success follows. Your mindset about money determines your relationship with money. If you think money is evil, you'll repel it. If you think money is scarce, you'll struggle to obtain it. If you think money is only for others, you'll never have enough of it. But if you think money is a tool for good, you'll attract it. If you think money is abundant, you'll create it. If you think money is your right as someone who serves others, you'll receive it. Champions like Floyd and Dorothy have healthy relationships with money. They see it as a resource, not a reward. They use it as a tool, not a trophy. They treat it as a responsibility, not a right. Develop a healthy money mindset, and money becomes healthy in your life. The compound effect of reading will revolutionize your life. Leaders are readers. Champions are learners. Winners are students. When Craig reads one book per month, he reads 12 books per year. In 10 years, he's read 120 books more than most people read in a lifetime. When Janet listens to educational podcasts during her commute, she transforms travel time into learning time. When Alan attends seminars and conferences, he invests in his education, which pays dividends forever. Reading is to the mind what exercise is to the body. It strengthens your thinking, expands your perspective, and increases your capacity. Read your way to riches. Learn your way to success. Study your way to mastery. Your network is your net worth, but more importantly, your network is your knowledge worth. The people you associate with determine the information you access. The relationships you build determine the opportunities you encounter. The connections you make determine the collaborations you create. Champions like Chester and Violet are strategic about their networking. They don't just collect contacts, they build relationships. They don't just meet people, they add value to people. They don't just network for what they can get, they network for what they can give. Build relationships, not just networks. Serve people, not just yourself. Your morning routine sets the tone for your entire day. How you start determines how you finish. What you do first determines what you do best. Champions like Morris and Georgia have developed morning routines that guarantee success. They wake up early to work on themselves before they work for others. They exercise to energize their bodies. They read to stimulate their minds. They plan to organize their day. They visualize to program their subconscious. They affirm to strengthen their beliefs. Win the morning and you win the day. Consistency beats perfection every time. Perfect action taken once is less valuable than good action taken consistently. Champions like Leslie and Clarence understand that consistency is the mother of mastery. They show up every day even when they don't feel like it. They work on their goals even when progress seems slow. They maintain their standards even when others are lowering theirs, because they know that consistent action creates compound results. Consistency is the ultimate key to breakthrough success. Your vision must be bigger than your circumstances. Your dreams must be louder than your doubts. Your faith must be stronger than your fears. Champions like Lester and Beverly have visions so compelling that they pull them through any obstacle. Their dreams are so vivid that they become more real than their current reality. Their faith is so strong that it moves mountains. When your vision is big enough, your problems become small. When your dreams are clear enough, your path becomes obvious. When your faith is strong enough, your fears become irrelevant. Vision without action is merely a dream. Action without vision is merely passing time. Vision with action changes the world. The speed of implementation determines the speed of transformation. While others are preparing to get ready to start thinking about beginning, you are already achieving results. Champions like Preston and Esther implement immediately. They understand that the market rewards speed. They know that opportunities have expiration dates. They realize that perfect timing is a myth. The best time to start was yesterday. The second best time is right now. Implement fast, adjust faster, succeed fastest. Your energy flows where your attention goes. What you focus on grows stronger in your life. What you ignore grows weaker in your life. Champions like Eugene and Francis focus their attention on solutions, not problems. They focus on opportunities, not obstacles. They focus on possibilities, not limitations. They focus on what they can control, not what they can't control. Because they understand that attention is the steering wheel of life. Focus on what you want, and what you want focuses on you. Every failure contains the seeds of equivalent or greater success. Every setback contains a setup for a comeback. Every breakdown contains a breakthrough waiting to happen. Champions like Clifford and Gladys mine their failures for the gold hidden within them. They extract the lessons, they harvest the wisdom, they gather the experience, they collect the strength. They understand that failure is not falling down, failure is staying down. Success is falling down 7 times and getting up 8. Your current limitations are not your permanent limitations. What's impossible for you today may be inevitable for you tomorrow. What you can't do now doesn't mean you can't do it ever.